Leaders are important. Without leaders, much of the world's work doesn't get done. And since we need them, we may as well produce good leaders. What drives the toxic leader, I think, is there are several things. Ambition, arrogance, avarice, the desire for power, and narcissism. So when I say toxic leaders, I'm not talking about the garden variety mean boss. I'm talking about people who engage in destructive behavior, have dysfunctional personal qualities, and create serious and enduring harm. Toxic leaders have a very small quotient of integrity, if any. One reason why we are very prone to accept toxic leaders is they step into the footprints, into the imprint of the footprints that our parents left behind.
You cannot become really a leader. How can you get fully and become elected president without appealing to those subconscious levels?
It is in that interaction, I want to go back to that, the interaction between the leader and the constituent. And that's where we have some power. My interest is more in the followers of toxic leaders. The title of the book is The Allure of Toxic Leaders. What makes them so alluring? The followers will do anything they say and remain in their thrall long after the leader is gone. I mean, we give ourselves many rationalizations for why we should do something or why we are doing something. We say we're doing this because we want to keep our jobs. But then those rationalizations, if you don't really examine them, harden into what I think of as control myths. And these are myths that say, I mustn't do this because I will lose my job. The upshot is that we control ourselves. The toxic leader doesn't have to worry about us. I think that these people, maybe you would say they had a power issue, but I think that they liked power. And again, you see people who are quite reluctant to give up power.
What you're saying is, no matter what they said about all the things they wish they could have done, their revealed preference was to maintain power.
Absolutely.
However, I think you could also take that axiom and apply it to their constituencies or their followers, because even though we say we want to be independent and have certain things, the reality is that we're willing to accept that illusion for other, there's some kind of trade-off going on.
Absolutely. Toxic leaders psych out what are your basest fears and what are your most basic needs. And they play to those. If you really understand what makes leaders tick, what makes good leaders tick, you will support those leaders and you will find that you help to grow good organizations. And you'll have a productive life. I always tell my students, the most important thing is not the bottom line. That may sound like heresy, but it's not the bottom line. I really feel very strongly that ethics count, that leaders who have character are the only leaders, and they do not have to be flashy. Do not talk to me about charisma. I am up to here with charisma. Talk to me about character, because that's what really counts. Do you have integrity? Does the leader have integrity? Is the leader trustworthy? Is the leader truthful? Is the leader somebody who is responsible? Is the leader somebody who will put the group's goals ahead of his or her own? There are all these other factors that have to do with character and passing the mirror test that I think are far more important than charisma. If on top of all that you have charisma, fine, I'm all for it. That's the, you know, the cherry on the chocolate sundae. But without character, charisma doesn't count.